My Atlanta Falcons lost on a last-second field goal to the mighty New York Jets, and now they get to host the Seattle Seahawks here in this Week 14 matchup. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan. We're going to break down this game and provide our predictions at the end. So be sure to stay tuned, leave a comment, and while you're at it, hit that subscribe button to get notified when new videos come out. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's see if we can make that possible. And Ryan, let's get into it here.
Let's
Atlanta
do it.
Falcons lost to the eventual Super Bowl champs, New York Jets, here in Week 13. I say eventual because eventually they will win another Super Bowl. Maybe not in our in our lifetimes. The Falcons will most definitely not win a Super Bowl in my lifetime if they keep playing the way that they're playing. But no worries for us. They get to host now the Seattle Seahawks, who are coming off a dominant victory over the Minnesota Vikings, 26-0. And really, honestly, it's kind of just a boring game, so to say. I think Seattle Seahawks' best player might have been Max Brosmer, Minnesota quarterback, threw 4 picks to them. And then offensively for Seattle, you're just like, well, I mean, he's just going to keep handing us the ball. So, like, don't do
Yeah.
anything too crazy offensively or whatnot. And I think it's more just to goes to show how dominant Seattle is. And I'm not just saying that, but it's like defensively, they're really good. And then offensively, they have those gears be like, no, we're just going to stay in first gear. Like, what's the point, really?
Yeah.
Like they're able to move the ball down the field. Don't do anything too crazy because Minnesota can't score on us, which is wild to think. They have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, etc. So this is going to be an interesting game here. I take that back. As long as Drake London is able to come back and play, then it could be kind of interesting. But Ryan, I want to throw it over to you here now. Just talking about the Seahawks before we start talking about the Falcons and like what this matchup is. But what are your thoughts on the Seahawks here, and what do my Falcons need to do to have a chance to maybe pull off the upset here?
Yeah. I think if you go look at games where like the Seahawks have struggled, teams have been able to put up points on this defense and they're getting the ball out of their quarterback's hands quickly. And I think for your Falcons, Kirk Cousins needs to be getting the ball out in 2.5 seconds or less. And then maybe from there, if you guys start doing that and get the play action going, get the ball in the hands of Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson, and establish the run game as well. Even if it's not super successful, you can just establish, the threat of it with those two playmakers. I think that would do well for your Falcons. And then defensively, I will say, like at one point in the season, about half through the halfway mark, this was the number one pass defense in football. And I think if you can go and cover JSN, you put AJ Terrell on him, that's a really fun matchup to look at. But with Divine Diablo back, this defense can really start playing fast again. And so if you can get after Sam Darnold, Vikings were able to sack him 4 times in this past matchup. So if you can get after Sam Darnold, I think that's one way to help slow down this offense as well. So for you guys, I mean, kind of cliche here, but put up points early, put the Seahawks in the rear seat of the game, and make them have to throw the ball, and then lean on your defense a little bit here, and let this pass rush. You spent 2 first-round picks this past year on edge rushers, and so you utilize those guys to get after Sam Darnold, and hope AJ Terrell can win that matchup with JSN there on the outside. And if I'm the Seahawks, I'm getting after Kirk Cousins. He's not nearly as mobile as Max Brosmer really is. So, and he is a much more experienced quarterback. So maybe you don't get 4 turnovers, but maybe you get 5-6 sacks in this matchup here, and take advantage of banged up Falcons team. They probably will get Drake London back, but overall, we'll kind of see how this offense fares against what is probably the best defense in football.
Yeah, no, Seattle just through and through that this defense is extremely good. They're going to give us a bunch of fits in general. And I will say one thing too. I think if I'm trying to take one solace from this season is I do think we are kind of a good challenge for these playoff teams because we do have superstars that you have to worry about. Bijan Robinson, Drake London on the offensive side of the ball, and we've got a lockdown corner in AJ Terrell. And then we do have a good, young, fast front 7. So we have the pieces to be competitive in these games. Like we played your Patriots tough, and your Patriots are a Super Bowl champ or a Super Bowl contender. And I believe it's possible even too that we could give Seattle some. But where Seattle is, and I'll even add on a little bit more to what you're saying there. And the losses that I've seen in Seattle, it has been more self-inflicted wounds as well. So you
Yeah.
look at their 3 losses here, and that's something that Atlanta is superior at, is self-inflicted wounds. And so I don't think Seattle's better at that than we are. So, but if I were to go and look at this game here, it I do think we pose tough matchups. But at the end of the day, though, Seattle's defense is just more all around better. They're better coached. They're going to be better schemed on how to slow us down. Kirk Cousins is a statue. It's cool to see him be successful here in his last couple games in Atlanta before I think things start to get blown up. But it's and the defense is going to, the Seattle defense has the speed to slow down Bijan Robinson, to disrupt our offensive line. Their offensive line has improved. Seattle is, I think, the addition of Gray Zabel has been a major help. Anthony Bradford did get hurt in this game here, so I have to see how that shakes up the offensive line. But I also think, though, too, and Seattle fans, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Bradford might be the worst offensive line piece that you guys have. So that might maybe be a good thing if he's not able to play. But in general, though, I really like what Seattle's done, and this offensive line balance for Seattle has helped in the run game a lot, which I think has taken things off of Sam Darnold. JSN is turning into being one of the better top 50 receiver in the league. That's a joke. I'm saying that from a past video where people got upset about what I said of ranking JSN. But no, he's having an amazing season. And just at the end of the day, though, I think they're better coached, more well-rounded. And for Atlanta, that I've said better coached multiple times now to hint to, like, the reason why I made the executive decision to wait doing this video, because we normally do a vast majority of the next week's videos on Sunday night while Sunday Night Football is going on, and then we wait. This is one of the games I specifically waited on because I was expecting news that Raheem Morris and company would get fired. I still think that is a certainty that they're going to get fired now by the end of the year. I think after you lose a game like that to the Jets, which is the most Atlanta way to lose a game, like we dominated in yards, and yet then we still somehow find a way to lose the game. We're just such a poorly coached team, just top to bottom, even going up to like Rich McKay, the CEO, not even the owner, Arthur Blank. I like Arthur Blank, but I can start to see people are saying, like, no, like there's needs to be some decisions that need to be made, like changing up the entire front office, not even just the head coach as well too.
Yeah.
So Seattle is much more well run. I think a much more happier fan base at the moment, I would say, and I think it's going to show on Sunday. It's they're going to be able to get after Kirk Cousins. They're going to be able to stop the run. Seattle Seahawks defense, 4th in total yards allowed, 1st in run stopping as well too, 3rd in sacks. They have 45 sacks. They might have 45 sacks against Kirk Cousins this week. And so, but I'm going to go with Seattle here on this one. Leave a comment. Let me know when you think Raheem Morris is going to get fired, if it's going to be after week 18 or before week 18.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Falcons coaching staff throughout the rest of the way, because I think that decision has probably already been made based off of the performance this year. And then you go look, they drafted Michael Penix in the top 10 2 years ago. They spent 2 first-round draft picks, including trading away this year's first-round draft pick as well, which looks like is going to be much higher than 26th overall. So for me, I think it's not just the coaching staff, but even the front office should be, getting some resumes prepared and whatnot. But I'm also going to go with the Seahawks. I just think they're the much better team in this matchup for a lot of the same reasons that you stated. Even too, like going to like the wide receiver depth, like finding Torrey Horton in the 5th round has been great for this team. Cooper Kupp being that veteran receiver is also very interesting for them. The tight ends have been very good for them. I believe it's AJ Barner and Elijah Arroyo. Like they've just done a really good job rounding out this roster, and with a team with a lot of questions, coming into this of like, how would they handle all this turnover, moving on from Pete Carroll in the front office, all the way down to trading Geno Smith and then bringing in Sam Darnold. There were just a lot of questions about this team, and they've answered a lot of them so far this season. So don't think it's a surprise, but definitely taking we're both definitely taking Seattle in this matchup. So with that said, let's go ahead. Let's wrap things up. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Seattle Seahawks? Will it be the Atlanta Falcons? Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.